hear me keep moving on, even when the road feels long. Hope is here, your light's begun. Don't forget you're number one. Dear Me Podcast, brought to you by About D Voice.
It's an amazing day today, and honestly, I am delighted, very delighted, absolutely delighted, so delighted actually to be back here again on DME Podcast. And as you know, I am Omalmi, your lovely host, and of course, this podcast is brought to you by About the Voice. And of course, we say, and I always say, that you are number one. And I have only been a month away, and it actually does feel like ages. But then here we are having the first episode after the break. But before I delve into what we have for today, I would like to remind us again what DME Podcast is about. We are all about personal development and ensuring you as a young person evolves and grows into the best version of yourself. And we believe in the power of intentionality, networking, hard work, smart work, of course, and of course, curiosity to get you into those rooms and that height that you desire as a person. Nothing is impossible. And that is what we go by here on DME Podcast. But then today I have an amazing guest with me. You know, I have been saying it that I would be bringing guests to DME Podcast so that it wouldn't be only me talking. We have a lot of amazing people out there who are open to sharing their experiences in life, just to make sure that, of course, they're of benefit to you or to people around. And the person that I have today is one of such persons. Her name is Dr. Ayomide Adewumi. And I'm going to be sharing a little profile or a short profile about her. Trust me, she's more than everything that I'll be highlighting. But then for formality's sake, Dr. Ayomide Ayomide is a graduate of dentistry from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University. She is also a mental health enthusiast, an advocate, as well as a personal development advocate, and has involved herself in quite a number of speaking engagements to ensure that the young generation, like yourself, like me, are guided in the right path of life. And I honestly would say that she is a mentor, a good listener and a thought leader. And today, myself and Ayomide would be talking on the topic Medical School Unfiltered, where she will be sharing with us her own unique story and experience from being a medical student in a school like Great Ife. The goal of this particular episode is to kind of give you insights into the realities of medical school and to help guide you if you are, say, currently a medical student or you are aspiring to be one. And this particular episode is going to help guide you on how to navigate medical school, what to expect. But then I'd like to say this before we get into the conversation, that this is our own perspective. This is her own story. So many people have different experiences. And what we want to do here today is just to help you see medical school from her own unique lens and how her story can benefit you and for you to learn as much as you can. So I believe that is an amazing, I feel like that is an okay intro. And I feel like this is a safe spot to actually get into the conversation. Dr. Ayomide, how are you doing?
Hello, Omalmi. It's a pleasure to be here today, having this interview with you. I'm good.
Amazing.
And how are you?
I am fine. I am very, very fine. And it's, of course, also a pleasure to have such an amazing person right here on Hear Me Podcast. And is it for stats or how do they say it? Ayomide is officially our first guest on DME Podcast. I'm going to
Yay!
All right. So, Ayomide, how are you feeling this morning?
Oh, this morning I feel good. I feel great. It's a It's a great day, and I'm expectant
Amazing.
of great productivity for the rest of the day.
All right, so getting right into what we have for today, talking about your own perspective on medical school. Can you give us a brief story about your medical school experience? The one thing that I'd like to note here is that there is actually no right or wrong answer. And what we actually want to hear is your own perspective, because different people have different perspectives of medical school. So I just want to hear your own story. So briefly, how would you describe your own experience in medical school?
Okay, for me, medical school was a long time, a really, really long time. For me, I studied in, Ife, OAU. And we thought it was going to be 6 years, but we ended up spending at least 8 years.
Oh my God.
Different strike, COVID and all of that. So for me, it was long. And at some point, the reality dawned on me that I was increasing in age, so
my
I
dear.
had to challenge myself. I had to begin to challenge myself to grow. So for me, I would say that my period in medical school was a serious growth phase. It was in that place that I started asking questions about self-discovery and, okay, who am I? What do I want to really do with my life and all of that? Because I came in as a young person, as a young girl. And then when I was leaving, I knew I had spent a lot of time.
You were advanced in age.
So I had to answer important questions in school. Personally, to sum it up, I would just say it was a time of growth for me, sincerely.
Amazing.
Yeah, of course, hard times, good times, sweet times. But what stands out for me is the growth, like my becoming at the end of the whole period. Yeah.
Amazing. That is actually an amazing summary. But then you said something about the timing. So that means you probably got in when you were maybe a teenager or something, right?
Yes.
But then by the time you were leaving, you were already mature.
Yes.
You're already a mature woman. Okay. So when you got to that period where you started to become more self-aware about the fact that, okay, I'm actually getting older. I have to start taking my life more seriously and all of that. Was there something that happened? Maybe you attended a program, or maybe it just dawned on you, or like what really made you to start to think, aside from you understanding that, okay, I'm actually getting older? Like, what would you say really happened? That was it something that triggered you? Did you start seeing other people, maybe your mates in maybe other courses doing some things? Or I just want to know what happened within that phase.
Okay. Well, for me, it'll be different for different individuals.
Absolutely.
Actually. But for me, I'm a very meditative person. So each day, each birthday is usually is usually a meditative day for me. I know that it's normal, it's routine for people to celebrate on birthdays, but for me, I take time back to really think and meditate on the whole year. So I feel like I can't really think about any events specifically that triggered it, but I'll just say it's in between my thoughts, like just thinking, okay, I'm a year older now. What did I achieve this previous year? So I think some of all these thoughts kind of challenged me to have to answer some certain questions and to ensure that ongoing, like maybe by my next birthday, I would have achieved this or that. And some of all those resolutions we give ourselves, or those challenges we give ourselves. So I think for me it's personal, but I'm sure for other people it's for different other reasons. Yeah.
Okay. To be honest, I love your answers. Thank you very much. I still wanted to probe further, but then I think I should just move on to the next thing. All right. So generally speaking, would you say that medicine, or should I say the medical, going into medical courses, for instance, in the OU setting now, when we're saying medical school, we're saying courses like medicine itself, saying dentistry, we are saying physiotherapy, we are saying nursing, we are saying what other course? Is there any other course? I think it's just four that at the
Yeah.
Okay. So would you generally say that the medical field, be studying a medical course is a good field to be in? Is this English correct?
I know, right?
All right. So what I'm actually trying to say is that generally speaking, would you say medicine is a good field to be in? That is studying a medical course, going in the medical line. Would you say it is a good field to be in? And that I'm asking this question, like you putting personal interests aside, would you say it's a beautiful path? And maybe because of the impact it has on humanity and the hope it gives people. Like for me now, I have my own biases about going to the medical field, or studying a medical course probably, or maybe influenced by my experience. But then I have actually come to a phase where I have sat down to actually think and say, if someone actually decides to study medical course, it's actually a beautiful path, especially if someone is passionate, because imagine what happens on a daily basis. Some people have emergencies, some people are sick and ill, some people would lose their lives. And then imagine if everybody is absconding and saying, no, I don't want to go there. But then these people step in and there is hope. People are saved. Sicknesses are healed just because of this expertise. So I would say, generally speaking, my question now again is, would you say it's a good path to be in?
Yes, 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 yes. It definitely is a very good path. It definitely is a very good path. But there's just something I want to correct from what you said. You said sicknesses are healed. Well, I just want to
sorry.
I just want to intervene. We know God heals. God heals.
Absolutely. Sorry,
And
I
then
brought in the
we
spiritual
try.
part of me. Okay, go on,
We
please.
try. We try. So even in the practice, we know that God heals and we try. Do you understand? So why I brought that up is to answer your question, that it's a beautiful place because even while God heals, God needs a human. Do you understand? God needs a vessel to, bring about his healing. So if you look at it from that aspect, it's an amazing place to be, that interface between life and death. For most people, like someone is having a physical illness, someone has an emergency, just like you said, and if not for an intervention, the person will actually die. And then all their dreams, their aspirations are, is gone, is wasted. Just imagine those, let's say footballers, since we are in the season, footballers that had, heart issues and died on the field. It's always so sad because the whole career ends that day. So that's just football. How about other important individuals that die because of sicknesses? So of course, the field, whether being a nurse, whether being a physiotherapist, whether being a doctor, a dentist, being that interface between life, between health, whether it's mental health, whether it's physical health, whether it's just ensuring that you go through therapy like physiotherapy, all of it is amazing. I would say yes, 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 yes. It's something to consider. Yeah.
Amazing. I was going to kind of move on to the next, but then that last thing that you said, like, it is something to consider. Would you say that before you decide to study a medical course, saying how, considering how rigorous it could be, how tasking, or yes, how taxing it could be, would you say that for instance, maybe a young person out there is deciding that, okay, they want to study a medical course and all of that, would you say they should consider it, or they should know that they know that they know, like know that you know that you know that this is my calling, I want to do this? Would you say you should consider it, or you should be passionate about it first before you actually delve into it?
Well, for me, I would say self-discovery is usually the first thing. I feel like the earlier you discover yourself, the earlier you discover what drives you, what you are called to do. I think that's just the way I'll put it. The earlier for you, because there are so many important choices to make in life as a person, and your career is definitely one serious aspect of it. There are other, people say marriage and many other, the list goes on. But then for career, what you want to do with your life, because at the end of the day, let's say you do a 9 to 5 job, you would literally be spending a quarter, because let's say you sleep for 8 hours, you're at work for at least 8 hours. Then, like, most of your life would probably, because even preparing for work, when you come back, before you unwind, work, even though you are back from work, you are still in the, like, you are still under the
You are in the
of,
euphoria.
yes, and sometimes you still have work to do when you get back.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, let's not even say you spend 8 hours. So your day, your whole life is going to be dependent on your work. And for a course like medicine, like nursing, it's even more, because you swear the oath that you are giving yourself for the people, right? The Hippocratic oath. So it's not even like the 9 to 5 job. This one is like you are literally giving yourself, because you can be called at night. Sometimes you have calls. You know, you can be sleeping and then a call comes in. What is going to be that passion that will drive you? I know that maybe, I don't know who is listening, but I know you might be the type where if someone mistakenly talks while you are sleeping, you'll be angry. But this time you have to like stand up and go and go to an emergency. And you should be excited, you should be energized, and you should not transfer any aggression on the patient. So it must be a thing of passion. And let's say you are a nurse. I know that nursing is more than just, cleaning, but in reality, there's going to be a lot of dirty work in quote. Sorry to use that word, because you are going to be cleaning patients' wound. If you're this kind of person that is very, irritable, you will not find it. You won't find it pleasant, because let's say there's blood, there's mucor, and then you have to clean. Then this patient, let's say the patient is even a COVID-19 patient. You still have to wear your normal PPA and attend to the patient. You know that you can, let's say this patient is an HIV patient, you know that you can get infected, but still you have to treat the patient, because you cannot discriminate. So a sector like this is something that it cannot come from your brain. It's all of these things you can't come from your brain. It must come from your heart. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be more than, okay, I can pass my jam. Let's say you are brilliant. Yes, that's just the least of it. It's going to be more than theory. It's going to be about your heart, your person.
Your person will be tested.
Yes, your person will be tested. It's going to be about how much love you can give. Do you really love these people? It's going to be more than you can read and pass exams. At the end of the day. Fine, that is also important, because knowledge is important. But all of it come together. So I would say calling. I would say passion. I would say having a vision, like actually seeing it, actually seeing yourself there, actually being in the shoes, seeing, like having a vision of is this what I'm meant to do? That's just one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is that whether nursing, whether is so wide. Even let me just pick one, for example. Let me just pick medicine as an example. It's really wide. You cannot just, I want to be a medical doctor. It's just that. Like, it's just, after being a medical doctor, after your medical school, it's not the end. You start your residency if you wish to, but you start your residency, and then there are so many specialties. So many of the times, someone who doesn't really have a vision comes in, and then they pass the exam, they manage, and number one, they begin to struggle with some of all these examples I previously gave. Number two, what do I really want to do? Because at the end of the day, being a doctor is just the preliminary aspect. But what do I really want to do becomes a question. Because you would at some point you need to be more relevant. You need to specialize. You need to become a specialist. Even if you're becoming a consultant, but even as a consultant, many of the times you still specialize in an aspect under the profession you have chosen, and under the profession where you are a consultant of. So you need to understand, what do I want to do? What am I interested in? Children. Or then you can think about children. Or because at the end of the day, you see that there's children, there's bone, there's liver, there's kidney, there are so many things. So am I really interested? Like, you have to have a vision. That vision is going to be what will direct you, whether in choosing the course in itself, or is going to be going to lay the background for other choices that will need to be made as time goes on. So yes,
Amazing.
calling, yes, vision, yes, understanding. This is where I'm meant to be, beyond you just knowing that, oh, I can pass biochemistry, I can pass biology, I can pass and all. So it's deeper than that, because it's a lifelong thing. It's a lifelong thing. There are many people who are depressed at this time, because after they have passed all the exam and all, and they are in the real world, they are
Yeah.
seeing real patients coming with one swelling or the other, coming with cancer, and sometimes sometimes you see some patients and they don't look so pleasant, and then people become depressed because they are not made for this. Like, who brought me here? Do you get?
Yes, I understand you perfectly. So from the response that you just gave, I actually did love that response, because you kind of made it more real about what it actually means to want to decide to like get into the medical field. And for our audience, we have a lot of young people listening, like people who are maybe 16, 18, 20, and a lot of that. So let's say, for instance, you were speaking to like a 16-year-old. A 16-year-old is not even yet legal, and and then there are a lot of young people who actually get into this medical profession or decide to start studying these medical courses because their parents want them to, or because they themselves, they just know that they are smart. And then there are also people who are in a situation where they are there because maybe people have told them that, you this girl, you're going to be a doctor. You care for people a lot. And these are the reasons that is actually motivating them to get into that field. So looking at all of these points that I have mentioned in maybe two to three sentences, because you've actually kind of answered the question before, what would you say to someone, like to a young person like this, who is in this, should I say circle, or who is facing this kind of situation where the motivation is not really deep, or maybe it is their calling, but they don't really have that clarity because they are quite young. And then there are a lot of voices trying to inform this particular or their decision to get into medical school. What would you say to such kind of persons?
I would say that the field is actually really wide. The medicine or medical field is really wide. And for most of the people, or most of, people who find themselves, they didn't choose it, but because of the influence of their parents and all, they find themselves. I feel like still the most important thing is finding yourself. And when you find yourself, you most likely might be able to find yourself or your space, or have a space for yourself in the field. Why? Because medicine is not just clinical. There are so many aspects to it. If you end up realizing that, oh, I'm made for business, there's the business aspect of medicine, there's the entrepreneurial aspect of medicine, there's the tech aspect of medicine, there's there are so many aspects. If, I like microbiology, I would have done microbiology instead. Why not do why not be a micro why not specialize in that aspect? Why not? There are so many things to specialize in. Just discover yourself. That's the first step. And after you have done all of it and you still do not find a space for you because there is no link, then I would say be very, very sincere with yourself. And of course, this would require a lot of wisdom and a lot of counseling. But at the end of the day, the medical certificate or the degree is still going to help you or be a leverage to you if you're going to, at the end of the day, change career. But what I would advise you is not to take too much time in deception. Like, you know that there is nothing for you here. But before taking that step, really be sure that about who you are and what you really, really want to do. Let it be so clear. Let it be so real to you. I would say that for a large percentage of people, you would still find a space here. It may not be, it may be in the non-clinical, it could even be in the administrative aspects. It could be in politics, even there's politics even in medicine. So you would find your place. But if you do not find a place, then with wisdom, see how you can use your current degree as a stepping stone to leverage where you actually want to get to. Because for most of the things, for the fact that you are a doctor already or you are a medical personnel, it actually opens doors for you. So you need wisdom, you need counsel, you need guidance. But at the end of the day, I would say that do not waste your time. Do not deceive yourself. Do not live in deception for too long, or don't just choose to live in deception because you feel like, oh, I've taken so much time. There's always time to start again. Not again, but there's always it will always how will I say it? I'll always vote for you choosing the right step, no matter how late it seems. But living the whole of your life in deception and on the wrong path, I would not support that. I would not advise that. So, yeah, counseling and guidance, wisdom also will be required.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Would I be pressing too hard if I still try to kind of put it back a little again? Like you've kind of answered the question for people who are should I say mature. You get, but a 16-year-old, for instance, that is just fresh out of secondary school, and that 16-year-old happens to be smart. Maybe the 16-year-old has written JAMB and the 16-year-old scored 350, and everybody in the house is saying, Dr. Lomoye, my child is a doctor. She's caring, she's this and that. Can we say that 16-year-old would know what it means to find themselves? Can you say, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. And what is amazing is that most people have a glimpse of what they want to do from a very young. There are so many interviews out there where you ask children like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, what do you want to become? And they have it. Like I had something most people have a glimpse of what they want to do from when they are young. So if that is clear to you at 16 years, fine, pursue it. But if pursue it for your career, of course, you have parents that would help you, guide you, But if you don't have such guidance and you find yourself in that position, you won't be 16 forever. At some point, 17, 18, while you are still in the course, you still need to answer the questions.
Absolutely.
And when you end up finding yourself, just ensure that it doesn't take so much time, because even if you are 16, you will soon be 18 and you will still be in the course. So if you choose this,
absolutely.
So at the end of the day, you will still have to answer that question. If you didn't, some people are able to answer it much earlier. Very good, very good. But some people could even answer that question, but the influence was too strong from their parents, and it was just impossible to decline. So at the end of the day, you become an adult. At the end of the day, is your life. Absolutely. And you still have to make many choices by yourself. So at the end of the day, find a way to still ensure that you are living a worthwhile life, a life that you feel fulfilled and you feel like you are actually really giving to society from your abundance, from a place where you are passionate, from a place where you feel like you should be. I don't know how, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
A place where you feel comfortable, you feel like this is
you're making an impact.
Yeah, exactly. A place where you can make an impact from your heart, from your soul. You can give of yourself to the society. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Now that is a full answer. All right. So, people often talk about, the mental stress that comes with being a medical student. As someone who was a medical student. And I had my own fair share of the experience. So I don't want to go deep so that you understand. But then what I want to ask is that from your own point of view, and perhaps like from thinking about the average medical student out there, would you honestly say that medical school takes a toll on one's mental health at some point, regardless of how smart you are, regardless of how good you are, regardless of you actually being in medical school, taking the in courses, writing the exams, and you're of course seeing the grades, you're getting the A's, you're getting the B's. Would you still say, and that not to now talk about the one that is all now struggling? So, would you say that medical school actually takes a toll on your mental health in crazy ways? Now, I'm not saying average mental health, like everybody does have mental health, one or two at some points, but then medical school mental health, that is what I'm asking. So please, I would like to hear your answer.
Well, I would have, outrightly said the things on my mind, but when you said you give a distinction that's not average, and when you gave me, you were specific about it. I would say that baseline, whether it doesn't have to be medicine, life in itself is tough. And if you don't have control over what is going to make you healthy mentally, then anything at all will ruin your mental health tremendously. Because what is a walkover for a person might cause mental illness for another person if that individual hasn't learned how to manage their mental health. So I would say that it definitely is a challenge, because a challenge to us, a challenge to every individual out there to fight for their mental health, to ensure that they have a grip of their mental health. Just the same way you take care of yourself physically, the same way you put on a mosquito net, or you put a mosquito to prevent, bites of mosquitoes and malaria. That's the same way you have to put up structures that will protect your mental health, because it's challenging trying to make the grades, trying to understand what you are being taught, there's going to be a lot. Is a lot at once. Is a lot to read. There are a lot of big books, and then there may be a lot of cruelty, toxicity with people, and just what people go through as young people, your friends, maybe there's a heartbreak, a breakfast, or anything.
That was a big
or anything at all. So I think for any individual, it's very important to have boundaries that will protect your mental health. So if you have boundaries in place, it doesn't matter what situation is. Some people are facing serious situations outside. It may not be looking like academics, but it's just in their workplace. And if they still do not have these right boundaries, they will still enter into depression. So if you are entering into depression, if you are having serious mental health issues, is a sign, is just like signaling to you that your boundaries are faulty, that you are not protecting yourself enough, and then you are allowing the storm to get into you. Because let me say this.
Go on,
so
please.
you cannot control what people decide to do. You can't control what people decide to say. You can't control how people decide to act, but you can control how you absorb it. You can control how it affects you. So you may not be able to say to this person, don't say that toxic word to me, or you may not. I don't know what it is. You may not be able to control that someone give you a breakfast, but you can control. You should have control over yourself. You should be able to have strong boundaries on what gets to you and what is permitted to not get to you. People can say things, but you can decide that I will not be influenced by this word or that thing or that environment and all. So mental health also, talking about mental health, you know that's where I love. It's wide. And when we say mental health, there are so many aspects that it's even a topic on its own. Like if you want to go about depression, there's so many things that could cause it. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Baseline, ensure that you have healthy boundaries that will prevent you from these storms, and ensure that your mental health is in check. So please go on. Please ask.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to I would like to paint a scenario. So let's say a 200 level or 300 level medical student has spent, let's say, 20 hours of their day, and they've been doing that consistently for, let's say, 4 weeks, which is a month. They've been trying to do that consistently for like 3-4 weeks and trying to prepare for an examination. And then they actually know that they've been putting in the effort where they've needed to probably attend discussions, which is something that's usually available in different schools, whether private or public. And they've attended discussions, they've attended to the past questions, they've asked questions, they've reached out to friends concerning difficult areas they've been facing and all of that. And they've done everything actually. And they've also prayed, of course, because of course in Africa, in a setting, a lot of us do believe in God. And so let's say this 300 level, 400 level student has done everything in their power to prepare for a particular examination, only to write that exam. And then they see the results. Maybe they were even preparing for 3. They wrote the first one. They saw the results. The score was poor. They saw the second one, poor. They saw the third one. So what boundary can such a student, because of course it's going to take a toll on the mental health of such students. So what boundary would stop that person from actually almost going crazy about, because when they sit down and think about how much they are pouring into their academics and they are not seeing any results, and then there is pressure from the home and all of that, what would you say such a student can do or should do in such a situation?
For such a situation, I would say that I would prefer to go to the root, to really dig the root of the problem.
Okay.
It's not just a one sentence answer. There are questions to be asked. Why is that happening? You said this person is spending 20 hours reading. Is that a problem?
Okay.
Or is the problem somewhere else? The problem could be lurking in different places. So we need to ask a lot of questions. Okay, could it be that you do not understand what you're reading? Because you go to the exam and then you feel like you know it. Is it that you don't really understand? We would need to sit with this person and really, really understand the root cause. If we can understand the root cause, then we can see how to solve the problem. But generally, just to shorten the whole response, of course, your marks do not define you. You get grades and you put in your best. You feel like you're putting your best. Fine, we need to get to the root of it, because if you are putting in hard work, you should see the results.
Absolutely.
Whether it's, since you already mentioned Africa, if it's physically, we should deal with it. If it's spiritually,
very important.
we should deal with it too. But then let's just leave that aspect, since that's not where we are going.
Absolutely.
The boundaries that needs to be placed for such a person is to understand that to have a very strong identity, and to understand that, to differentiate what should define them and what should not define them. And then that's just one aspect to it. The second aspect to it is also to look for things that can help you to help relieve your stress. So after you've put in so much effort, even if you got a very good grade, you still need to relieve stress. Or let's just stay with this scenario. You didn't get good grades. How can you relieve the tension? So a lot of times tension will come in life, even if you are doing your best. Sometimes you could be in a workplace, you are giving your best, but your boss is still making it look like you are nothing, you are doing nothing. How do you relieve stress? How do you release? It's very important. So this is where many people enter into different problems. How they release their stress. Some people bottle it up and it ends up into what. Some people don't know how to manage it. And so whether you like it or not, pressure will arise at different aspects, even beyond this scenario. But
Mm.
the person's skill in managing situations is very important. So different for some people, it could be meditation, taking a walk. Just I know that I did a lot of that when I was in school. I take walks. I just so it look like I might even be pacing around this, sitting like a short distance if I don't want to go too far, but I'll just be going and coming and just to breathe, just to ensure that I'm breathing. So I take time to meditate, just to release the stress. So people take time to pray. So people take time to talk. I did that a lot too. Like I had friends where I just talk about nothing that is academic. So I had some friends that are not medical individuals that I could just talk, and I would spend hours on the call talking, not necessarily an opposite sex, just female, just friend, just let's talk about something else, please.
Something aside from
And then
academics and all of that, right?
just something different, yes, just
Yeah.
outside. So people would derive release from doing other things, like other activities, maybe like just something different. So it just depends on how do you manage the situation. It could be in different ways, but what the a pressure that results into havoc is dependent on that line between how you manage it. Just that's between that space of you managing the situation. And
Amazing.
then, of course, the boundary there will be, this doesn't define me. You should have a strong definition of yourself. I am still who I am. I'm still who I know myself to be, or I'm still who God says I am, despite this. This is just a tiny fragment of my whole picture. So I ended up, by the grace of God, I'm a graduate. But maybe my primary two, maybe I got 0/10 at some point. You get it doesn't at the end of the day, it didn't we had those situations. So when I had the 0/10 at that time, it looked like life has ended. But
Absolutely.
come on, you
There's still
realizing that
more.
it's beyond now. Yes, it's
Yeah.
beyond now. This doesn't define me now. The whole vision is bigger than this score right now. It's going to make you to look beyond this, because at the end of the day, what if, just imagine now, my primary two score that I got 2/10. Just imagine I stopped. I just felt that this is
This is the
won't
end.
it be funny now? Won't it be funny now that
Absolutely.
so that's how it is. Even if you're in part 2 or part 3 or part 4 or part 5. So someone that is higher above that, they'll still be looking down at you and say, come on, I beg Jare, is it just small this thing? Let me move on, Jare, don't worry, you will be okay. So
All right.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that perspective. Now, looking at my own setting where I am, there are people who attend, for instance, private universities where their parents are paying, let's say, 10 million naira, 8 million naira, 15 million naira per year. And that is excluding their feeding, their accommodation, and then all the little here and there's like that they need to spend. So let's say roughly in a year, they might be spending maybe around 20 million naira just to survive. And this student is a medical student and is studying a medical course, because from this setting that I am, I've heard a lot of people say, I would not pass K without the money that my father is pumping. So such kind of student, we're saying, this doesn't define me. That is beautiful. And that actually does solve a problem. Like when a student is able to say, okay, this particular grade that I have gotten at this time does not define me. That is strong. That is good. But then when you sit down after you said it doesn't define you and you think 20 million naira per year, and you get, so all of these things actually do take a toll on the mental health of a student. So what would you say to that kind of student? Would you still say, this doesn't define me? Or what else can you say this person can do? Because a lot is at stake here. A whole lot is at stake. So what would you say?
I would say that sincerity is very key in this aspect. Sincerity is very key. because when whatever is affecting you is not just about yourself. For example, now previously we talked about your parents enforcing a situation, if like influencing strongly that you do something that you maybe don't not want to do, all of that, and then you try your best, you graduate, and then you still end up finding your way to using what you have, because you have resources already. You can use it as a leverage, as a stepping stone to where you really want to get to and all. But now this situation is not just affecting you. Now in that situation, now it's just you basically is affecting. So, but this one now is not just affecting you, is other people are already involved, and you are concerned that even if I'm sad, my parents too, I'm making them sad and I'm making them waste my money. So sincerity is very, very important. The earlier you are sincere with yourself, the better. Now, is this what you really want to do? Do you have other strengths? Is this your weakness? Are you just try?
Are you just trying to make mama proud?
yeah. Are you? Yes, sure. Are you struggling in the wrong place? Are you trying to build in the wrong place? Is there something else that you are good at? Sincerity is very key. Me, I am an advocate of sincerity. You know, if there's something you do better at, then why not? Why waste money? If it's that you are even passing now and you are doing very well, it's good. Just continue. At the end of the day, everything will still blend. But you are not even passing and you are repeating classes and all this money is going. Let's say you are even repeating classes in a government school. At the end of the day, it's still your time that is being wasted. You can still try, but this is now beyond you and you just feel like, I can't do this anymore. I think sincerity is very key. To maybe sit down with your parents or with your guardian and get counseling, or be sure, okay, ask the real questions.
Absolutely.
Ask the real questions. Is this my strength? Are there other strengths I have? Is there something I will do better in? I'm sure there's something that you're not dumb or you're not dull. There's probably something else that you would read and you get it very quickly and you'd excel in. So ask the real questions and see how you can make amends, to not just waste your time, but because I believe that in every person, you have very great potentials. But what if you have potentials in A and you are putting all you left A and you are focusing on Z? At the end of the day, you realize that you are just giving out all your energy where you get the least result, because you are just not in the wrong place. It's just wrong location. You understand? So ask the real questions and see how you can deal with the situation from the root.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that response.
So not just about changing direction. Also ask the real questions, like, are you in a wrong? Are you having? What's the problem? Is it that you are in a wrong relationship that is like distracting your mind? Just ask the real questions. Cut out from things that you need to cut out from. I don't want it to look like, it's just about leaving the cost. It's about cutting out from all what does not serve you. If you are in a wrong group, you have joined bad groups or bad gang, let me use that word, then cut out from it. Cut out from everything that is draining you, including if it is discourse. But let's say it might just not be the cause. It might just be every other thing. So ask the right questions and be very sincere with it. At the end of your sincerity, you would have helped yourself to save a lot of your time, energy, and to be more productive. Yeah.
Amazing. That is a very full answer. Thank you so much. And so if you have been listening, I believe that this conversation that we've been having has been touching and also answering a lot of your questions. And so if you're a young person out there that you are facing this, especially this last question that we just answered, that Dr. Ayomide just helped us answer, please come to that point where you have a sincere conversation first with yourself and then also with your parents. And then you want to look around. What are the things that I am involved in? So in case you're in the wrong relationship, you are in the wrong friendship, you are in the wrong circle, you are reading the wrong things, whatever it is, you want to look into it and then still have that sincere conversation with yourself. And then where you have to bring in your parents, please make sure you do that. All right. So moving on. Dr. Ayomide, what advice would you give to someone who has written JAMB, say 5 times, and is still determined to study a medical course? Is saying, let's say, for instance, this particular student finished school maybe at the age of 18. So if you're adding 5 to 18, that is around 23. I think that's 23 years of age. And this person is still saying, no, I want to do medicine or nothing. So what advice would you give to such a student? I would like to hear from you.
Well, I'll start with the fact that life is not as streamlined as most people think. The question is, I will still go back to what I said in regards to self-discovery. So, why medicine? Why medicine? You should really answer that question. I want to save lives. There are so many ways you can save lives, my brother.
How about be paid doctors as well?
Eh? He said,
but my reason is that if I want to do a professional course so that I can have money, like security.
There are many professional courses out there now. There are many other professional courses. That's the thing. So answer the right questions. If you are so interested in helping people saving lives, you can save lives in many other ways. If you are a pharmacist, you will save lives because there's a lot of people that are dying due to adverse drug effects. A lot of people dying due to this. Look at the opioid problem we're having, the addiction opioid problem. You can go and venture into that. You can save a lot of lives. So ask the real question. Why? By that way, you can give yourself many options to still achieve the same goal. I'm just answering using one. There are so many ways to answer this question, but this is just one aspect to it. Because let's say at the end of the day, let me try to look for an example. Let's say your thing is I really have so much passion for the deaf, or let's say the disabled, and I just want to be there for them. There are so many ways to reach out to the disabled. You can be a doctor, you can be a singer and reach, you can be a pastor and reach disabled and pray for them, and you can be a writer and write books specific to this person. Of course, you can also be a doctor. You can even be a therapist. You can study psychology and specialize in, I want to ensure that the mental health of these disabled people are. You can go into advocacy. You can go into politics just because of these people. You can go into administration just because, to see how you can specialize. So, medicine itself is not the end to it. Medicine is a tool. Medicine is a pathway to achieve something. What is that thing? You must answer that question.
So and that's you just one sincere. And you must be sincere with yourself.
You must be very sincere to it. So that's just one way. The second way to answer the question is that you are very sure that the pathway for you is to get to your desired goal is the medicine. Then let's ask other questions. How are you studying? You are saying you are studying. Are you going to the right place? Let's say you are doing a tutorial center. Are you going to the right tutorial center? There are some tutorial centers that even if they swear for you, sorry, even if they swear for you, you will pass, because they will open your brain and put the book inside. Why not go to those tutorial centers? This same book that I'm reading for all this, what are you not getting? Join the right association. Then there's also smart reading. It's not everything that will come out in WAEC. If it's WAEC, you'll be writing 1 million times. Go to past questions. Like, there's some whole textbook every year. Or should you not focus on most asked questions? There's a smart aspect to it. How are you reading? Is a way to ask, like, get proper guidance in such ways that you can enter. Then think about other ways to enter into the medicine. Sometimes people first enter a course, choose a course, and then they will get first class in that course, and then they will be able to change course. Yes. That's another way. Another way, why not go to a private university? Another way is that why can't you go change? Must you go to UI? Must you go to OAU? Must you go to OAU? Why not go to another state, maybe a state university, that the competition is not too much? Maybe you are getting
Absolutely.
270, 265, and then the place you are choosing is where the applicants are getting 370. Why not go to a place whereby if you get your 260, you enter? When they are even begging you to come and study medicine, why not go to those types of schools? At the end of the day, you are still a doctor, and at the end of the day, it's still you that will make a name for yourself, not necessarily where you
Absolutely.
graduated from, although it's still important. But at the end of the day, it's still what you can offer the world that the world will remember.
Exactly.
If we figure out that, oh, there's this doctor, like, oh, there's this doctor that he was the first person in the world that first cut or separated the, I don't know, just conjoined twins or something. At that
Yes.
point, somebody will be asking where you graduated from.
Yes. Is your name.
At
What
that
you
point,
did.
what you were able to achieve. So there are so many ways to answer the question, but I feel like these two ways that answer the question is, is broad. Except maybe you want to give me a specific,
No,
to
no,
paint a
no, no, no,
specific
no, no.
scenario.
This is a very full answer. Thank you very much. We'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we're going to take the last part of the questions for today, and we'll be wrapping it up.
Dear Me podcast, brought to you by About D Voice.
All right. So the conversation has been really amazing. It has been enriching. It has been full. And I believe if you have been listening, it is the same for you. A lot of questions are being answered. And just in case you'd like to reach out to Dr. Ayomide for mentorship later on, or you'd like to collaborate with her, I'm going to be sharing her email and her phone number with you later on, or I'll be including it in the description. So please make sure to look out for that. And so we are slowly bringing this conversation to a wrap because we've been here for quite a while. If you left it for me, if that English is correct, if you left it for me, I would say we should actually continue this. But then, of course, we have to wrap it up. All right. So finally, if you had the opportunity to go through medical school all over again, what would you do differently? What would you do differently? I'd like to hear from you.
Well, that is a kind of dicey question because I don't really have many regrets. Why? Because I try my best to be very sincere at every point in time. So many of the times when I make decisions, I am sincere with them, and it helps me not to have regrets because I won't do something that I don't want to do. I won't do something that I'm not meant to do, as much as I can. But yeah, there are things that I would like to change. And I guess that will be with regards to relationships. I would have made better relationships. I would have made more relationships because I feel like the
Sorry to
pressure.
cut you. Sorry to cut you. When you say relationships, I'd like you to define it. Do you mean you would have networked more?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You can go on.
Yeah. So I feel like the pressure from school, it kind of put me in a box, and I didn't really have a very robust social life. Of course, it should be under check too, but then I feel like I should have gone out more, like, social gatherings, like conferences, like had better exposure. I remember some meetings I really wanted to attend, and then I would just say no because I want to read and I really want to go. I'll just be like, and at the end of the day, the period of that time, the period of that that event, did I even read? What did I even? What amazing did I even read? Amazing did I even read during that period? Fine, there are always checks and balances, but
Yeah.
I would have loved to be more involved, in outreaches, in just meeting more people, in having better relationships with people, and yeah, basically that's where just relationship, basically. That's just what I would have changed. That's just what I would change if I were to go back. If I were to go back, maybe I would maybe I would go into school politics, like really, really. Maybe
Okay.
I would have, just have fun in doing healthy things, like healthy things, not to, like, have fun like exploring drugs. No, not things
Of
like that.
course not.
Just
Of course not.
doing self-development, just things that will just make me
Volunteering.
more robust, like volunteering, just things like that. I would have given more time to things like that if I were
Amazing.
to go back.
Amazing. Thank you very, very much. So far, it has been an amazing, amazing conversation. And of course, this is where we are wrapping it up. For those of you who have been listening, I believe that you've been enjoying the conversation, and I would encourage you to stay tough and stay strong. And lastly, Dr. Ayo, do you have any last words for our listeners? Something for a new or aspiring medical student, for medical students who are currently in school, the ones who are struggling, the ones who are thriving, anything that you'd like to say to them as your final words as we bring this particular episode to a close?
Okay, I would say that live a full life. Live a full life, because even though you are in school, school is just one aspect of your life. You have to grow. You have to grow in your interpersonal relationship. You shouldn't be the person that will be getting straight A's, but always having issues with roommates and having bad attitude. So take time to develop your own self. Be robust. Take time to check your character. Take time to check your spiritual life. Take time to check your health. Don't just take coke just because you're reading and studying, and then the only thing you feed on is coke and junks. Take time to learn about health. Like, what food is good? What should I eat? Even if you don't have any time and you have to buy the right things. Just be well-rounded. Have good relationships with people. Choose the right relationships when it comes to the male-female kind of relationship. Don't go for the one that is draining you. Just have a robust life. Be growing in all aspects. Grow in all aspects. Grow in leadership, in your leadership skills. Learn other things. You can do some other things if you can, and if it's necessary for you, because not all things are necessary for individuals. Like maybe business, or might not be necessary for you based off your path, the path you need to tread. But if it's necessary for you, why not? Why not learn other courses that won't affect you? Other things by the side, new things, and just live a well-rounded, robust life. You should be able to look back and be happy. Be happy at what you have achieved every year. Even though you're having delays, if you're in a government federal school and you're having delays, take good advantage of all of those things and ensure that, because whether it's time in school or it's still your life. It doesn't matter if I spent 8 years in school, it's still 8 years of my life. At the end of the day, I will just say, okay, you delayed me, but it's still my life. At the end of the day, I will still have to give account for it, because what I did with it nobody will be waiting for me. If I didn't learn what it takes to be a woman, I will still graduate and I'll be expected to
Learn that.
show results for. So you need to be all rounded. You need to learn things. Cook, just be okay. All right. So that's what I was saying.
Thank you so much. In other words, do not let your life revolve only around the walls of your books. There is so much more to learn, explore, enjoy yourself even while you are studying, and take advantage of the times and the moments and the opportunities that come your way. Thank you so much, Ayomide, for joining this conversation today. I've really enjoyed everything that you've said. I've enjoyed the points that you've shared, and I believe that a lot of people have also enjoyed that. And I know that this is going to be helpful to a lot of young persons out there. Would you like to share your email with us and your phone number in case there is a young person out there who would listen and say, okay, I'd like to reach out to this doctor. I'd like us to still talk more, for her to share her experience with me, even on a deeper level, or I need help, I'm struggling here and there, and I would like to approach it from your own perspective, seeing that you've gone through the same situation, you've gone through medical school and you were able to scale through, and of course you were able to scale through well and all of that. So would you mind sharing your email with us?
Okay, sure. So my name is Adewumi Ayomide. Ayomide Adewumi, right? But then the A is double. So for the Ayomide is like Aayomide. Then Adewumi comes after AADAWMI@gmail.com. So
Okay.
just my name, but the beginning of the name, which is the A, is double. That's just it.
Okay, then
So
your phone
Ayomide
number.
Adewumi. Then my phone number this is my WhatsApp number, 09023099504. 09023099504. So I would prefer if you reach out on WhatsApp.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ayomide. If we were in a gathering now, it'd be like everybody should rise up. What do we say to Dr. Aya? Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, it's a wrap today. Thank you everyone for staying with us. I believe that if you are a young person currently in medical school, I believe that this conversation has been one beneficial to you. Just to let you know, or to remind you, we have conversations like this on DMA Podcast every third Sunday of the month. And just like today is the third Sunday in the month of July. And that is why we're bringing this conversation to you. That is why it is available. And for those if you are new to the DMA Podcast, make sure that you are following and make sure that you like. Yes, make sure that you like or you comment, you ask questions, but most importantly, you rate the podcast, give us a 5-star, and make sure that you also follow. This helps our content to reach more people. And also we have an Instagram page at Dear Me by Omomi. It's on Instagram. While we're going to be dropping the podcasts every third Sunday of the month, the Instagram page would be having a lot of posts, a lot of content that helps you access opportunities, and a lot of other personal development talks in video now and not audio will be dropped on the Instagram page. So if you're not following, make sure that you do that. And so that is a wrap. Don't forget, my name is Omomi and I am your lovely host. And right here on DMA Podcast, we say that you are number one. Until I come your way again next time. Bye-bye.
Dear me, keep moving on, even when the road feels long. Hope is here, your light's begun. Don't forget, you're number one.